All right, everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Awesome. Today we're looking at AI in education,
Okay.
but not just how to use the tools,
Right.
like how to actually get students ready for a future
Mm-hmm.
where AI is like everywhere.
Yeah.
So we're going deep on this 2024 UNESCO report.
Oh, okay.
It's called the AI Competency Framework for Students.
Catchy.
But it's not just about, you know,
Yeah.
teaching kids to code the next,
Right.
big app or whatever. This is about something way bigger,
I see.
like how to be a responsible citizen in an AI world.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what does it really mean to be AI competent?
Well, the report actually highlights how urgent it is
Oh,
to integrate AI education.
okay.
It points out that by 2022, only 15 countries globally
Wow.
had AI learning objectives
Huh.
in their national curricula.
That's
Yeah,
pretty low, right?
it is,
Yeah.
considering how fast AI is changing.
Yeah. It's almost like teaching kids to navigate with the stars when everyone's using GPS.
Exactly. It feels like we're at this
Yeah,
tipping point, right?
definitely.
So this UNESCO framework
Mhm.
lays out four core areas of AI competency.
Right.
And it's not all technical stuff.
Yeah.
So give me the highlights. What are we talking about?
The first is human-centered mindset.
Okay.
It's making sure that AI serves human needs and values
Gotcha.
and not the other way around.
Right.
It's about keeping human agency,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that AI doesn't mess with human rights
Right.
or, turn us all into mindless button pushers.
No robot overlords.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's next?
Ethics of AI.
Okay.
This gets into those difficult questions
Mhm.
like data privacy, algorithmic bias, misuse.
Oh, that's
It's like giving students
yeah.
an ethical toolkit
Right.
to navigate the AI landscape.
Like that college admissions scandal
Yes.
a few years ago where that algorithm
Exactly.
was accused of favoring certain applicants.
Yeah.
Talk about an ethics lesson.
That's a perfect example of why understanding
Yeah,
the ethical implications of AI is so important.
totally. Okay, what's number 3?
Number 3 is AI techniques and applications.
Right. Now we're getting technical.
And here we do get a bit more technical.
Okay.
It's about understanding data, algorithms, programming,
The nuts and bolts.
the nuts and bolts,
Mm-hmm.
but it also stresses using those tools responsibly.
So it's like knowing
Yeah.
how to use a power drill, but
Mhm.
also
Yeah.
understanding you shouldn't use it to perform surgery.
That's a void analogy, but yes.
Okay, good. And what about number 4?
The fourth is AI system design.
Mm-hmm.
This takes it even further.
Oh.
It's not just about using the tools.
Okay.
It's understanding how they're built,
Right.
how they work,
I see.
and how to critique them.
So this is where
Yeah.
things get kind of meta, right?
It is.
Instead of just using a chatbot, students are thinking about how it was designed,
Exactly.
what biases are baked in, how to improve it.
Yeah, it's like AI literacy on steroids.
Exactly. It's like fostering a generation that can not just use AI,
Mhm.
but shape how it evolves.
Exactly.
Now, the report mentions 3 levels of mastery within these 4 aspects, right?
Yes.
We go from understand to apply all the way to create.
Right.
Is the goal to have every student creating their own AI systems? That seems a little Mintresses.
It is ambitious, but the tiered approach is really smart.
Okay.
It recognizes that not everyone needs to be an AI engineer.
Right.
Understand, gives that basic knowledge.
Okay.
Apply
Mm-hmm.
is about using AI tools well and ethically.
Mm-hmm.
And create is for those who want to really go deep
Right.
to design and innovate in the AI space.
So let's say you're listening to this.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, okay, AI is important, but I'm not a tech person.
Mhm.
Where do you even start? What does that understand level actually look like?
Well, the report gets really specific
Oh, good.
with some cool examples.
Okay.
One that stood out was unplugged activities.
Unplugged.
Yeah, these show AI concepts
Oh, wow.
without even needing computers.
Interesting.
It's about showing how algorithms work in a very tangible way.
Like how?
Like imagine using a simple card game
Okay.
to demonstrate a decision tree algorithm.
So no screens required.
No screens.
Cool. What other methods did they talk about?
They talked about simulated AI incident scenarios.
Oh, okay.
You give students a hypothetical situation.
Okay.
Let's say an AI for loan approvals is discriminating against certain groups.
Mm-hmm.
Students have to analyze it, figure out the ethical issues, and come up with solutions.
So it's like a crash course
Yeah.
in responsible AI. but way more engaging than just reading a textbook.
Much more engaging.
They're learning by doing,
Right.
grappling with real-world issues.
Exactly.
It's like a flight simulator, but for
Yeah,
ethical AI decision-making.
exactly. The report even mentions
Oh,
students designing ethics kits
ethics kits.
based on actual regulations.
Right.
Think of it like a toolkit
Oh,
to navigate the ethical stuff in AI,
I see.
with guidelines for data privacy, bias detection, all that.
I can picture a classroom where students are building these kits,
Right.
debating different ethical frameworks, coming up with solutions.
Exactly.
It's a far cry from, just traditional lecture-style teaching.
And that's the point.
Yeah.
The report really pushes for moving away from passive learning
Okay.
and toward more active engagement.
Right.
And what's more engaging than giving students the tools to tackle real problems?
Totally. But let's be real.
Okay.
It takes more than a few cool activities to create a whole generation of AI competent citizens.
You're right.
It feels like we're talking about a systemic shift in education.
Absolutely.
So what does that look like?
The report acknowledges that it needs a multi-pronged approach.
Okay.
National AI strategies,
Okay.
curriculum changes are key,
Right.
but we also need things like extracurricular programs, online resources, informal learning,
Right.
family involvement. It's a whole ecosystem.
Okay. And who's going to pay for all of this?
And that's where it gets tricky.
Right.
The report talks about public-private partnerships,
Yeah.
which could be a good way to get resources.
Okay.
But,
Yeah.
and this is a big but, we have to be careful
Right.
about corporate agendas.
Right. Yeah.
Hijacking education.
Yeah.
We need to make sure
Yeah.
these partnerships are about empowering students,
Right.
not selling products.
Okay. So it's a balancing act.
It is.
Finding that sweet spot between innovation and integrity.
Exactly.
Okay. Before we move on.
Yeah.
There was this one line in the report that really got me thinking.
What was it?
It said, "Will machine agency eventually overpower human agency?"
Whoa.
It's like straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It is.
But it feels so relevant, you know?
It does. It's a question that's been around for a long time.
Right.
And there aren't any easy answers.
Yeah.
But the report frames it in a way that's less about fear
Okay.
and more about responsibility.
I see.
It's saying, look, we're at a crossroads.
Yeah.
AI is incredibly powerful.
Right.
It's up to us to make sure it's used to help humanity,
I heard it.
not undermine it.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's not about stopping the robots. It's about making sure they're working with us,
Yes.
not against us.
Exactly.
And education is a huge part of that.
It really is. It's about giving future generations the knowledge, the skills,
Yeah.
and the wisdom to
Yeah.
navigate this really complex world.
Okay, that was a lot to unpack.
It was.
We talked about the 4 core areas of AI competency, the 3 levels of mastery,
Yes.
and even touched on the ethical issues and the need for this big change in education.
Yeah. And we've only just scratched the surface.
I know, right?
Oh,
There's so much more to explore
there is.
in this report.
There's so much more. But what's really cool is
Yeah.
this report's not just about catching up,
Right.
It's about prepping students for jobs that might not even exist yet
Interesting.
by giving them a whole new set of mental tools.
So we're talking more than just coding here, right?
Oh, yeah, way more.
Like, what kind of mental tools are we talking about?
Critical thinking, ethical decision-making, even creativity.
Right?
Because AI is getting so sophisticated.
Yeah.
We need people who can use it,
Right.
but also understand its limitations, its potential biases,
Right, right.
and where human judgment is still crucial.
So it's like knowing
Yeah.
when to trust the algorithm
Right.
and when to say, hold on, something's not right.
Exactly. That gut feeling,
Yeah.
that human intuition, AI can't replicate.
At least not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
It's about having human agency in a world that's,
Yeah.
increasingly run by algorithms.
Right.
And that's where those 3 levels of mastery come in.
Right. Right.
You mentioned understand being the baseline.
Yeah.
But what does it really mean to apply AI knowledge?
Well, I imagine it's like
Yeah.
the difference between reading a cookbook and actually cooking.
Okay.
You can understand the ingredients, the steps,
Yeah.
the techniques,
Mm-hmm.
but applying that knowledge,
Yes.
that's where the magic happens.
I love that.
or the disaster, depending on your cooking skills.
Right. And with AI, that apply level means
Yeah.
being able to use those tools effectively,
Okay.
understanding their limits,
Right.
knowing when their output might be biased or incomplete.
So in that college admissions example,
Yeah.
a student at the apply level might be able to spot the red flags
Right.
in the algorithm's decisions.
Exactly. They wouldn't just accept the results.
Yeah.
They'd be able to think critically about them.
Exactly. And then there's the create level,
Right.
where students are designing AI systems.
Designing, customizing.
Critiquing them.
Yes. It's like going from cooking a meal to writing your own cookbook.
Okay.
Innovating with new recipes and techniques.
I like that. Okay, let's go back to those unplugged activities.
Sure.
You mentioned using a card game
Yeah.
to teach decision tree algorithms.
Right.
Can you walk me through that? I'm picturing
Okay.
a classroom full of kids playing poker.
Not quite poker.
Okay.
But the idea is to make these complex concepts real.
Yeah.
Imagine each card is a piece of data,
Okay.
like different types of fruit,
Okay. What?
with attributes like color, shape, size.
Okay.
You could create rules to classify those fruits.
Based on their attributes.
Exactly.
So if it's red and round, it's an apple. Yellow and curved, it's a banana.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
a simple way
Okay.
to show how a decision tree algorithm works,
Breaking it down.
breaking it down into steps.
Cool.
And you can get creative. Imagine students designing their own unplugged activities to teach AI.
Now that's meta learning. What about those AI incident scenarios?
Oh, those are great
Yeah.
for getting students thinking about the ethics of AI.
And the possibilities are endless, right?
They are.
Like imagine a self-driving car malfunctions
Okay, yeah.
and has to make a split-second decision.
Right.
That could harm people.
Passengers or pedestrians.
Students could debate the ethics.
Yes.
Analyze the algorithms.
Exactly.
Explore solutions.
It's like a real-life trolley problem.
But with AI at the wheel.
Exactly.
And you could tailor those scenarios to different ages and subjects.
You could.
You could have one about an AI hiring system or an AI medical diagnosis tool.
Yeah.
And it's not just about ethics, right?
Right.
It's about critical thinking
Right.
and getting students to think about the impact of AI on society.
Absolutely.
Speaking of societal impact, the report talks about a supportive ecosystem for AI competency.
Yeah.
What does that actually look like?
It means recognizing that.
Yeah.
AI education can't happen in isolation.
Okay.
We need collaboration.
Between who?
Schools, policymakers, industry, even families.
So everyone's involved.
Everyone. Imagine after-school programs where kids are building robots.
Okay.
Online platforms with AI learning resources.
Mm-hmm.
Parents actively involved in their kids' AI education.
It sounds like a big cultural shift.
It is.
Recognizing that AI literacy is as important as
Yeah,
traditional literacy
absolutely.
and math skills.
It's also about fostering a lifelong learning mindset.
Because AI is always evolving, right?
It is.
We need to be ready to adapt and learn throughout our lives.
Exactly. And that's where those ethics kits are so valuable.
Right.
It's not just about knowing the rules.
Okay.
It's about developing the judgment to apply those rules
Yeah.
in real-world situations.
It's like giving them a moral compass
Exactly.
for the AI landscape.
Now, we've talked a lot about education,
Yeah.
but the report also asks some bigger questions about AI.
Right. Like that machine agency line.
Yeah, that's a deep one.
It really got me thinking, are we heading towards a future
Okay?
where algorithms make all the decisions
Mm-hmm.
and humans are just along for the ride?
It's a question science fiction's been asking forever,
Right.
and now it's starting to feel more real.
Yeah.
But this report is a call to action.
Okay.
It reminds us that we have a choice.
In how AI shapes our future.
Exactly. We're not
Yeah.
just passive observers.
Right.
We have the power and the responsibility
Yeah.
to shape this technology.
And education is at the heart of that.
It really is.
Yeah.
By empowering future generations.
Yeah.
With AI literacy, we can make sure AI is used for good, not just for profit or power.
Exactly.
Okay. We've covered a lot. The 4 areas of AI competency,
Mm-hmm.
the 3 levels of mastery,
Yes.
the ethical considerations,
Right.
the need for a supportive ecosystem.
And we've only scratched the surface.
I know, right? There's so much more in this report.
There is.
So for our listener who's probably thinking, okay, this is all fascinating,
Yeah.
but where do I go from here?
Right.
What's the next step? What can they do to become more AI competent?
Well, I think the first step is just being aware.
Okay.
recognizing that AI isn't some far-off thing.
Right.
It's already here.
It is, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like they say the future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed yet.
Right. And AI is impacting everything,
Yeah,
from
exactly.
healthcare to finance to entertainment.
Totally.
So start by just paying attention.
Okay.
Read articles, listen to podcasts.
Like this one, of course.
Exactly. Take online courses. There are tons of resources out there.
And don't be afraid to get hands-on.
Okay.
Play around with those AI tools.
Mm-hmm.
Those chatbot apps. See how AI is being used in your field.
Right.
It's like learning a new language.
Mhm.
The more you immerse yourself,
Right.
the more fluent you become.
But it can be a little overwhelming, right?
It can be. Where do you even start?
Well, the UNESCO report actually
Yeah.
offers some guidance on that.
Okay, good.
It talks about the need for national AI strategies, ethical guidelines for AI development,
Okay.
public awareness campaigns.
So it's about,
It's about creating a society
yeah,
where AI literacy is valued
right.
and available to everyone.
So it's not just on individuals.
Right.
It's about making AI education a priority for everyone.
Exactly.
But let's get practical. What can our listener do right now to boost their AI competency?
One thing that really struck me in the report was the focus on project-based learning.
Okay.
Imagine students not just reading about AI. Yeah.
But building AI-powered tools to solve real problems.
So instead of just the theory,
Yeah.
they're getting hands-on, applying those concepts.
That's where the real learning happens.
It's like the difference between
Yes.
reading about carpentry and actually building a chair.
Exactly. And you don't need a fancy lab
Right.
or expensive equipment to do this.
Okay.
There are so many online platforms and open source tools
Yeah, there are.
that let you experiment with AI.
Right.
You could build a chatbot,
Mm-hmm.
create an algorithm to analyze data,
Mm-hmm.
design a simple AI game.
And with project-based learning,
Yeah.
you can choose what interests you
Absolutely.
and learn at your own pace. It's empowering.
It really is. And it's not just for students.
Right.
Anyone can benefit from this approach.
Like who?
Imagine retirees using AI to research their family history.
Oh, cool.
Or a community group creating an app to track air quality.
That's a great idea.
The possibilities are endless.
And it's not just about the technical skills.
No.
It's about those critical thinking skills
Yes.
that help you navigate an AI-powered world.
Exactly. It's
Ah.
about becoming a more informed
Right.
and engaged citizen.
Absolutely. And we can't forget about the ethics, right? As you're learning about AI,
Yeah.
ask yourself, how can we use this for good?
Right.
What are the potential risks?
Yeah.
How can we make sure AI benefits everyone?
It's like that Spider-Man quote, with great power.
Comes great responsibility.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're at a point where AI could solve
Yeah,
some of the world's biggest problems,
right.
but it could also create new ones.
It's up to us to use it wisely.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why this conversation is so important.
Mm-hmm.
The more we talk about AI, the more we learn,
Yeah.
the better equipped we'll be to guide its development
In a positive way.
in a positive and ethical way.
One thing that stood out to me in the report
Yeah.
was the emphasis on international collaboration.
Oh, absolutely.
AI is global.
It is.
We need a global response
We need to work together.
to make sure it's used responsibly.
Exactly. We need to share what we know,
Resources,
best practices,
work together on the ethical challenges.
and make sure AI benefits everyone.
Not just a few countries or corporations.
Right. So it's not just about national AI strategies.
Yeah.
It's about global AI ethics
It's about coming together
as a global community.
to shape the future of this powerful technology.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where organizations like UNESCO are so important.
They are.
They provide a platform
For dialogue, collaboration.
for developing global guidelines
It's about finding common ground and working together.
to make sure AI is a force for good.
Exactly.
Well, we've covered a lot in this deep dive.
We have.
From those 4 core areas of AI competency
Right.
to the 3 levels of mastery.
Yes.
Project-based learning,
Mm-hmm.
global collaboration.
We've really explored this UNESCO report.
And we've just scratched the surface.
I know, right?
This report is packed with insights.
It really is.
I highly encourage our listeners to check it out themselves.
Yeah.
You can find it on the UNESCO website.
Just search for AI Competency Framework for Students.
It's a call to action for everyone,
It is.
whether you're an educator, a policymaker,
A parent.
or just someone who's curious about AI.
Anyone.
The future of AI is in our hands.
It is.
It's up to us to shape it in a wise and ethical way.
So to wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Okay.
Don't be intimidated by AI.
Yeah.
Embrace it.
Learn about it.
Experiment with it.
And ask yourself
How can I use what I know?
to make sure AI is a force for good.
Exactly.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into AI competency.
It was a pleasure.
We hope you learned a lot and are inspired to learn even more.
We hope so.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning,
And keep learning.
and keep learning.